and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be joyful. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Don't be afraid now. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day, and to rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Today will be a joyful day. Today will be a joyful day. And to rejoice and come in.
Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Happy Pride. Happy 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. On behalf of the congregation at Arlington Street, I want to say a very special welcome to all our guests today. We are so glad you're here. Thank you for coming out. We'd love you to stay in touch with us. I'm going to invite you to fill out a welcome card and pass it to an usher during the offering or at the close of the service. That would be spectacular. Thank you. What a joy for me to welcome my esteemed colleagues in the ministry and religious leadership. I'm just going to pass the mic through so you can hear who's who and where they're from.
Lisa Perrywood, First Parish in Brookline.
Beth Robbins, Arlington Street Church.
Katie Scudera, Arlington Street alum, First Parish in Needham.
Sarah Napoleon, First Parish in Stoughton.
Sally Fritchie, intern at First Parish in Needham.
Heather Janulis, proud to be from Winchester.
Allison Palm, UU Church of Nashua, New Hampshire.
Father Alex Onetto, St. Francis Cabrini Mission in Roxbury.
Jen Shattuck, First Parish in Kingston.
Monica Jacobson Tennyson, First Parish in Kingston.
Aaron White, First Unitarian Church of Dallas, Texas.
Howard Dana, First Parish in Concord.
Joanna Lubkin, Arlington Street Church.
Reverend George Whitehouse, Arlington Street Church.
Welcome, my friends. Our own Rev Joe Lubkin and Rev Liz Weber took the idea of keep on moving forward and ran with it. Many, many thanks to Joe and Liz and to Alan Helms, Timothy Ellis, and Reverend Sarah Napoleon, who are here offering reflections today. I want to say thank you to our PR folks, ushers, bell ringers, staff, and everyone who brought us to this moment. A huge thanks to Her Majesty, Queen Cheryl. Yes. Yes. And to Reverend George Whitehouse and to the entire Queen's retinue who did this to our sanctuary. Yes. Thank you, too, to Queen Cheryl for the fabulous swag and for truly being the Queen of Pride. Thank you to Roger Clinton Vine on organ and to the Mark David Buckles Band. Mark David, Joanna Lubkin, sorry, Joe, Gail Carey, Alexandra Pham, Greg Reinauer, and Carl Groman. Welcome, my friends. Welcome and thanks to one and all. Let's see who's here today. I'm going to invite you to give a wave if you knew someone queer before Stonewall. If you were born after 1969. Yeah. If you were a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, hands up. Yes. If you learned everything you ever needed to know at summer camp. If you're part of a gay-straight alliance in your high school, or if you've participated in a day of silence. Beautiful. If you were raised in a conservative Christian household, your hands up. Mm-hmm. Transgenders, bisexuals, or gay men, if you ever got caught as a child trying on girly clothes or makeup. Yes. Anyone who wouldn't be caught dead in girly clothes or makeup. If you've ever been told you're in the wrong bathroom. If you hated the ending of Game of Thrones. If you thought A Handmaid's Tale was fiction but have realized it's an instruction manual. If you are a vet or an active member of the armed services, hands up. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. If you're a gym teacher or had a crush on one, let me hear you if you are so proud of Amy Siskind, Anderson Cooper, Chaz Bono, Daryl Stevens, Ellen DeGeneres, George Takei, John Lovett, John Waters, Lady Gaga, Laverne Cox, Lee Daniels, Lily Tomlin, Margaret Cho, Rachel Maddow, Randy Rainbow, Raven Simone, Ricky Martin, Robin Roberts, Samira Wiley, and Wanda Sykes. Yes, yes. Raise your hand if you're a parent. If you refer to yourself as mom or dad when speaking to your dogs or cats. If you're legally married and are fabulous singles, where are you? You can stand up. We'd like to look at you. You are beautiful. There you are. There you are. We love you. Fantastic. And now think. Add up the years that you've been coming out for Pride. And please stand or wave or give a shout if you have been to all 48 of Boston's Pride Day celebrations. So great. Just really want to acknowledge Reverend George Whitehouse and his wife, Gaby Whitehouse, who have been unbelievable allies to this community. Thank you, George. Thank you, Gaby. If you have been to 40 or more Pride Days, please stand with me and stay standing. If you've been to 35 or more Pride Days, would you please stand as you're able? If you've been to 30 or more Pride Days, stand as you're able. 25 or more, 20 or more, stay up. 15 or more, 10 or more, 5 or more. If you have been to 2 or more Pride Days, stand, wave, shout. Friends, if today is your first Pride Day celebration, stand or wave or shout right now. Welcome home.
I was 18, sitting in a college basement with the GLBT Association at Clark University when I heard that same-sex marriage would be legal in our state. The students around me erupted into celebration, and I sat there with my mouth hanging open, totally surprised. I hadn't dared to dream of such a thing. I was 30, out in Portland, Oregon for the UU General Assembly when I learned that same-sex marriage would be legal throughout the country. I rushed to the GA Convention Center to be surrounded by hundreds of UUs cheering and crying. I hugged my friends tightly and cried right along. I hadn't dared to dream of such a thing. 50 years ago, Pride began as a riot against police brutality as a gay bar was raided. When queer folks said, "No, not this time, we are holding our ground." Where in 6 days of riots, followed by 49 years of pride parades, we have come together to dream of safety, of equality, of liberation. In a year where we've seen some setbacks on this journey toward liberation, we come together with gratitude and recognition of just how far we have come. And we come together to pledge to keep on moving forward, to keep building for the days when people of all gender identities and all sexual orientations and all kinds of family are celebrated. Today, in word and in song, we lift up our stories and our hopes. We will hear from 3 courageous and totally fabulous speakers. Professor Alan Helms, a member here at Arlington Street Church, Timothy Ellis on the ministry team at the Elliott Church in Natick and starting at Harvard Divinity School this fall, and Reverend Sarah Napoleon, minister at First Parish Universalist Church in Stoughton. And after each one of them shares, we'll all respond together with the affirmation, keep on moving forward, never turning back. And we'll sing that together because Pride has a lot of song at its heart, and with gratitude to Emma's Revolution for the song. I'll sing it through once now so everyone can hear it, and then let's sing it all together to welcome up our first speaker. It goes like this. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. All together. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Good morning, folks. What a handsome crowd you are. For this morning's service, I am your pre-Stonewall elder, or at least one of them. So what was gay life like before Stonewall? The sex was better. Most things are more exciting when they're illegal, but everything else was worse. Male gay life, which was all I knew at 20 in New York City, was intensely secretive and hidden. It went on mostly at night, behind the unmarked doors of bars and in apartments where the shades were always drawn. The 415 bar on Amsterdam Avenue was typical. You walked in, saw some locals talking with a bartender, and figured you'd made a mistake. But through an unmarked door in the back and down a flight of stairs, you entered a cavernous basement teeming with hundreds of gay men who were dancing and laughing and cruising and kissing and drinking and passing out in the johns. No wonder I'd never known such a world existed. It was determined to remain as hidden as possible. The men were too. Everyone I knew was more or less closeted and spent a lot of time in the workaday world passing for straight. We were all terrified of being found out. Gay men regularly married for the sake of appearances or inheritances, and just as regularly committed suicide. If you heard that a gay man was seeing a shrink, it meant only that he was trying to go straight. Parents disowned and disinherited their gay sons or had them committed to mental hospitals where they were subjected to shock treatments and lobotomies and a popular therapy of the day called aversion therapy, which tried to, quote, create deep aversions in the male homosexual to the male body. Suggestions of filth associated with the male genitalia are implanted in their subconscious and reinforced periodically during the hypnotic trance. You can't invent this stuff. This is medieval demonology. In view of the psychiatric community, which was mainstream America's view, made professional and scientifically unassailable, homosexuality was an abnormality to be corrected at all costs. The most barbarous treatments were justified in the name of destroying such pernicious tendencies, because otherwise, the foundations of American democracy would crumble. Mike Huckabee and Mike Pence still espouse such crap and have said so in the past few weeks. There were gay men walking the streets of Manhattan in those days who had been rendered incapable of sex or had their memories obliterated by electricity. For some, it would take years to put their minds back together again. For others, the effort was hopeless. Of all the enemies we had in those days, psychiatrists were among the most dangerous. And our parents, of course. I never met anyone who was out to his parents. You had to be crazy to do such a thing. That was then, and this, thank God, is now. To be despised is very hard. To overcome it is even harder. But we're doing that. And on this day of remembrance, it is good to recall that we are warriors, we are heroes, and we are as relentless and inevitable as the tides. God bless us all, and for heaven's sakes, vote. Thank you. Thank you.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. never turning back, never turning back.
The summer after high school, I spent some time teaching leadership skills to LGBTQ high school youth in Wisconsin. For many of them, it was the first time they had spent with anyone of their own identity, much less anyone of their own identity and also same age. I spent the week talking with other trans youth, teaching workshops, going on walks. It was wonderful to be with such incredible youth, but also heartbreaking to hear about the pain they experienced in school or at home, pain that I knew all too well. Trying to figure out the compromises that get made in high school, but also a lot of adult life, to be honest. How can I be true to myself and in all parts of my life, balanced with how can I get through high school or life in general, keeping myself and my friends safe? This was at the height of the It Gets Better project, with many of our youth not trusting celebrities in videos when they knew that they might not have the means to leave their rural towns anytime soon. I still struggle to figure out what is authentically me. At work, I tend to overcorrect my gender presentation, wearing a suit coat and tie, to make myself a little less queer and increase my job security a little bit. That struggle between self-preservation and pride is ongoing, and it's such a hard one. Violence, suicide, HIV, drug addiction, and poverty still plague our community. And life can become a constant assessment of asking, will each choice make me more or less safe? We still have so far to go to keep ourselves safe and to keep our youth safe, but there still is progress. The fights trans youth are fighting today are different from the ones they were fighting 10 years ago. In high school, I taught underground sex ed. The high school youth that I worked with today read LGBTQ literature in their classes. And leaving these issues out of health class would be unheard of. And yesterday, for the first time, a rainbow flag was raised over the Wisconsin State Capitol building. While government recognition is not necessarily the point of pride, it's something that I had never expected to see after having spent years protesting an amendment to the state constitution banning same-sex marriage. We are still so far from the future that we've pictured and hoped for. And trans folks still get ignored and sidelined in the LGBTQ movement. But there still is more change coming, bringing us closer in our struggle, not just to survive, but to thrive.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
What are you protesting today? What are you protesting against? And more importantly, what are you fighting for? Stonewall was a riot, an explosion of tension and violence rooted in bigotry, hatred, and systemic oppression. It was full of tension, yes, violence, but also pride. People were shouting, singing, dancing in the streets. Some of the protests came in the form of throwing bricks and overturning cars, but there were also protests that summer that were simply people holding hands. That simple physical contact was radical, revolutionary, and forbidden. Today, we are the beneficiaries of their fierce commitment and courage, those protesters, and we honor the giants and the heroes who came before us, the survivors and rebels and misfits who claimed their right to exist, to love, to thrive. And it's up to us to live up to the dreams that they were fighting for. Each and every one of us, regardless of sexuality, gender, or any other identity, is given this day, this moment, as an opportunity to reject hatred, fight injustice, and protest in the name of human dignity and love. I was raised Unitarian Universalist in a loving liberal home and a loving liberal church. And being queer was always accepted and supported. And although I celebrated neighbors and friends who were lesbian or gay, I paid basically zero attention to my own sexuality. Luckily, I went to a women's college. I wouldn't say it straightened things out, but it sorted things out. My senior year in college, with help from my amazingly supportive boyfriend, who has since become my amazingly supportive husband, I realized I was bisexual and found a part of my soul that I hadn't realized was missing. But after I graduated from college, I accidentally went back into the closet. I was dating and then engaged to a man, and really, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it at work or other places, until I realized I was really, truly hiding something. It was a lie of omission. I was enacting my own personal don't ask, don't tell. I was mostly telling the truth about myself, but I was leaving this one little thing out that was actually creating and carving a hole in my heart. When I began graduate school to become a minister, I vowed I was never going back in the closet again. I was out, very out, during school, and suddenly I felt free. I felt whole. I felt seen. Whether or not my sexuality was understood or accepted, at least I wasn't hiding part of myself. I was out and proud, and I was never going back. Instead, I claimed my queer identity and leveraged its power. And I continue to do that today. I am a queer cisgender woman married to a cisgender man. I experience extraordinary privilege because of the person I happen to fall in love with. People ask me why I am so public about my bisexuality if I'm married to a heterosexual man. You could just let people assume you're straight, they say. You don't need to rock the boat. And I say, sure, but I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to. I'm never going back in that closet because I shouldn't have to and no one else should, because I can use my privilege to help others. I'm not going back in that closet ever again for every person who is afraid to walk into the bathroom, for every person who's afraid to hold their partner's hand out on the street, for every person who has to defend or repeat their pronouns again and again and again, yes, even to their family or especially to their family, for each person who remembers the violence, for each person who was beat up, for each person who is rejected by their family, good Lord, I love you, for each person who thinks that they are unworthy of love and happiness and dignity. It is my ministry to subvert the status quo, to challenge prejudice and misconceptions, and to erase artificial limitations on human kindness, compassion, and love. This is my protest, to exist publicly, to love boldly, and to fight relentlessly. It is up to us, all of us, to keep on moving forward, building Stonewall's legacy of celebration and pride for generations and generations to come. I hope you'll join me.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Thank you, friends. I invite you to join hands for the benediction. These words are from the Harry Potter Alliance, activists for equality, human rights, and literacy. Here is how we move forward. Keep loving, keep fighting, celebrate story. Laugh, dance, sing with your friends, with strangers, with every single person who keeps showing up when the world tells them not to. Resist hatred, resist cynicism. Know that none of this is foolish. Know that it is necessary. Give love, give light to those around you and those around the world. Be excellent to each other. Be good. Always, always, always. The weapon we have is love. Wands up. Let's keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Woo! Let's take it to the streets. Bless your hearts. Happy Pride.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all through the night. I'm gonna let it shine all through the night. I'm gonna let it shine all through the night. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, building up a world. I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world. I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.